What's up, guys? Happy Monday, March 22nd, 2021. It's been a couple days. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend to really kind of shake the NBA up, right? Get this mic where we want it. Raise it up a little bit or nah? Let me know if I jacked up the mic, boys. A lot of crazy stuff happened. LaMelo Ball out for the season. LeBron James out a couple weeks, joining Joel Embiid on the sidelines, shaking up the MVP race. Now Nikola Jokic, your odds-on favorite. Anthony Edwards, now your favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Giannis Antetokounmpo out today. Al Horford's out again. We're waiting to see how the Thunder could turn Horford into another pick. I don't know. But we're here. We're starting off one of our last weeks without MLB. This might be the last whole week without MLB. So we can dedicate the full grind now. And they were pulling double duty in just a week and a half, right? What's up, chat? How we doing? Happy Monday. We started a little late today, too. I definitely didn't want to compete with the TopShot drop. Although congrats to TopShot for having a drop on time without being postponed. But yeah, I didn't want to compete with that. Late lock anyway. So we decided to flip the switch at 3. So we out here. You let them know if you're on Twitter. Retweet the last tweet there and show some love here. I'm sure we're going to have some congested airwaves when it comes to live streams for DFS. So I appreciate you guys that do stick here. Shout out to Darren. Shout out to Crispy, Encore, Lincoln, Hawk, Quan, Jose. Jose said he was freestyling in the car to the intro, man. I want to hear that. Like, I would maybe we have a lot of artists musically in our community. I noticed. I want to hear some of this. Heck, Raj does music. Young C does music. I don't know if Haz is around. Haz is a producer. Like, there's a lot of you guys into the music realm, man. I love it. What's up, Dez? Big Dez. I'm all in Capella or Collins, but I hear Paul George calling. Man. What? Bars? Hold up. Oh, my goodness. Let me get in the stream Discord. We're going to have Raj here, too. If you guys played yesterday, Russell Westbrook, Slate leader in fantasy points, 70.25. Part of the main slate, 29-13-13, up against the Brooklyn Nets, where Blake Griffin made his debut with a dunk. And it was like, if you had been watching Blake for the Pistons, knowing that all he does is chuck threes, and he hasn't dunked in years, his first point was like the biggest troll job ever. Top of the key, fakes a three, and just drives to the rim for the dunk. It's like he's been planning that for years. It's like the Clippers traded him against his will. And he was like, I'm just going to not try. And as soon as he joins a contender, all of a sudden his Jordans got them pumps in it, and he got some hops. So that was fun to watch. I was laughing so hard because it was such a troll job. Luka last night on the main slate, 37 real points, 7 boards, 4 assists. That game got lopsided in a hurry, 40-point blowout. Luka had one of his best shooting nights, 8 for 9 from behind the arc. That's not normal. He doesn't usually do that, but he was able to put the Blazers to sleep in 30 minutes, letting Porzingis have just 25 minutes before he hit the shower. So last night's slate, a little bit weird. Still saw no Embiid. Thought Ben Simmons could be a great play with a little rest, and I threw it back-to-back. 37 minutes, 32 fantasy points. This game did hit overtime, and man, other than Shake Milton and Danny Green, the Sixers were pretty irrelevant at their price points. Kind of underwhelming, and even the Knicks to an extent. It's hard to land on Burks in a saturated guard rotation for the Knicks. But Julius Randle at 10K, 46 isn't something that you're wild about. So yesterday's main slate was a little bit rough all the way around. Hopefully tonight's a little bit better. I think we are seeing egregious amounts of opportunity. Next man up. We got some chalk spots. Like I said, Giannis is down. We know John Wall's going to be out. Oh, that's another thing I meant to bring up. Some of the minutes the Rockets played yesterday. Depot played 40. Wood and Wall played over 30. So I don't know if it's safe to say Christian Wood's off of his minute restriction, but I think Christian Wood's off his minute restriction. And we'll see on a back-to-back if that trend continues, right? Dad says, my coworkers keep bothering me. I told him, chill. Gun is on. Yo, leave the man alone. We got money to make. What happened to LaMelo? Yeah, he broke his wrist. He's going to be out for the season. So, like, immediately when he broke his wrist, I was like, oh, snap. Anthony Edwards is about to win Rookie of the Year, which I still think he will. But I think if you're betting futures, just kind of watch Tyrese Halliburton's future. NBA is very, very primitive when it comes to awards. I think a lot of sports are. I think MLB's starting to get there with the MVP, considering WAR more, and they're definitely getting there with their Cy Young situation. It wouldn't, but 5-6 years ago, their Cy Young awards were like based on wins and stuff, which is so dumb. But basketball is so primitive, and all of their awards is so scoring based, that like results orientated, points per game, stuff like that. So I think Edwards is going to get it, but I definitely feel like there's a couple other rookies that should be in the conversation. But I feel that way every year about like every position. Like oftentimes, most improved player is just a guy that now gets more minutes and scores more. And I don't know, maybe they'll catch up. Your EB says, Gun, won first place on FanDuel main slate, 100K to first. I need money to name. What? Won 100K? Let's go. Dude, is that the third 100K winner in like 2 weeks? Y'all are nuts. Y'all are crazy. Good stuff. Willie, Brittle Blake will be out a week after that opening dunk. Maybe. I'm conflicted. I really am. I really, really enjoyed that Clippers team with Chris Paul, Blake, DeAndre, JJ Redick, Doc. I really think that was one of the teams in the last decade or so that one of those didn't make, like the Sun, Charles Barkley's team, stuff like that. Like I thought that was one of those teams that if they stayed healthy, they could have had a shot. They had everything covered. Good defenders, good rebounder in DeAndre, a guy that can score in the paint in Blake, some shooters like JJ Redick. But every time they made to the playoffs, people were getting injured. Chris Paul was getting injured left and right. Blake was getting injured. So I wouldn't mind seeing Blake get himself something in Brooklyn, even if it's getting carried. And the fact that, he's there with DeAndre is fun as well. So I'm indifferent. Like, I get how, it's easy to not like super teams. But man, did he okey doke me? I mean, it was when he went to the Nets, I was just like telling people, Blake's not who you think he is. He doesn't dunk, and sure enough, first freaking bucket, dunk. I tied to a 62K also and ran 3 lines with 20. Let's go, eBay. Hey, 62K, we'll take it. Dez, also a player, never give up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a grind. Speaking of grind, I'm gonna bring in Canada's own Jalen Carter. You may have seen him recently on Instagram where he went live for over 15 minutes with pop culture icon Neo. He's so sick of love songs.
Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone. That is true. It is true. What's going on? Another day, another grind. Should be a fun slate. This slate looks like it should be a chalk donkey slate. I thought we're going to choose chalk. Yeah, which route to go?
I love this slate for FanDuel, so I'm going to lose all my... Anytime I love a slate, like I love a slate, I lose. I lose. If I think the slate's trash, I win. There's no...
Today. If you want to be a chalk donkey, we're going to all make whatever. You're going to make this money when it hits. When it doesn't, the other side's going to hit. It's just literally comes down to whether you like the chalk or not.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. Chat, let's do this. You guys know the wave. You guys know the drills. Like I said, if you're on Twitter, hit that retweet button. Let's go. Let's hit that thumbs up and let's ride. Let's jump to the slate. Remember, 30-minute late lock, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Sacramento Kings at the Cleveland Cavaliers going to start the party. Project starting 5 for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, and Rashawn Holmes. Taking on Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Isaac Okoro, Larry Nance Jr., Jared Allen. We got 223 and a half total, 4.5 points spread in favor of the Sacramento Kings. We go to that team metrics chart here. We want to look at how bad these two teams play a little bit of that defense. Sacramento still the league worst defense, and Cleveland right there in the bottom 10 as well. What is interesting about these two teams, they don't run like extremely fast pace. They're just really bad on defense. Still like the Kings in terms of their predictive value for minutes played. I got the entire starting 5 at 36 minutes. Sansa Halliburton at just under 34 minutes. So every single King, I think, has a chip in a chair to give you a solid ROI on their fantasy price. I think on the Cavs side, we do know that Kevin Love is still going to be out. So with that being the case, Larry Nance is 5,600 on FanDuel, 6,100 on DraftKings. It's been a mixed bag of nuts in terms of what he's done at this price point. But why can't I quit you? He's just too cheap. Too cheap. He's too cheap for 30-plus minutes against the league worst defense. 25 and 21. I'm willing to forgive and forget and kind of trust in those peripherals coming back. Obviously, I don't feel the pressure, the need to go extremely overweight on him, but I do think he's one of my favorite floor-ceiling ratio plays based on the matchup. And then Jared Allen, under 7K on FanDuel. It's getting dangerous. It is getting dangerous. He's definitely... it's been a while since he's popped for that 50 bomb. I do just... How often the Kings just let the best happen. So I don't mind him. Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, both guys are intriguing. I do think the Cavs, like if you think about the slate as a whole, Raj, there's a lot of self-developing chalk spots, right? We know Drew Holiday's just going to be egregiously owned. Chris Middleton's going to be high owned. Without LaMelo Ball, there's probably going to be more eyes on Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, guys like that. But at the end of the night, if you look back, and the Cavs were pretty solid plays top to bottom, it's not a shocker because it's the Kings, right? It's hard to trust because the Cavs' offense has been so inefficient. But maybe the Cavs are an odd way to get different, even though it is the worst defense that we attack every single slate. You do anything special with this one?
So Garland's questionable, so if he gets ruled out, I mean, I think he would Sexton would become a part of the chalk knocky plays of the day today. You gotta like it against Sacramento with no Garland. I think he'd be an elite play, so don't hate it. Like you said, it's Sacramento. I want to play Jared Allen. Give me some Sexton. Give me some Garland. You mentioned Larry Nance, 30 minutes at that price. He'd get there for you. And I think in Sacramento, Rashawn Holmes. I think against Jared Allen, we used to always attack with center. So give me Rashawn Holmes. Still no Marvin Bagley. Mm-hmm. Could be a 50 bomb for him. Could be dueling 50 bombs for both centers. So I think this game does get overlooked because of Milwaukee and the Charlotte guys, but I can see a Cavs kind of people are going to triple stack Milwaukee and Charlotte. I wouldn't be surprised if a triple stack Cavs team somehow gets there.
Yeah, Darius Garland dealing with a right quad contusion. It is night 2 of a back-to-back, so we'll see if that hinders his ability or the decision for him to play or not play. But yeah, I think this game could be really, really juicy. Anyone that you project for over 30 minutes in this game should probably be somebody you literally take the time to say yay or nay on in the player pool. I think the entire starting 5 of the Kings lineup for me will be in the pool. They probably all start as a 3 and we work up or down from there. But they're just too economically viable, fiscally viable. 5,500 for Halliburton. I like that. And like I said, Anthony Edwards getting this Rookie of the Year hype now that LaMelo's down. I don't think Halliburton's out of the picture. And I think from a metrical standpoint, he might just be the better player this year. But hey, if you take 35 shots a game, make 15, you can win Rookie of the Year too. Yep. Sound like such a hater, but chat, what are you guys doing with this one? Mark says I love the Kings' first game. Playing some FanDuel system. What up, Mark? FanDuel slate rock and value, man. Who gets more minutes tonight, Zubac or Moses? I'm gonna go with Moses. as it stands now. So that would be my. And I also like. I'd probably just play Moses anyway, but we'll see. Sexland backcourt's money. I'm with that. That says that Sexton game to me. So, like I said, if we do foreshadow potential outage for Darius Garland, let's go pull up the Cavs on-off report here and just real quick, put Colin Sexton on, and let's go take off Darius Garland. Just kind of show you some numbers without a lot of context. I don't feel like we need to go specifically and take off like Kevin Love, stuff like that. Colin Sexton has a 31.6% usage and 563 minute sample size, 24% assist rate, and about a fantasy point per minute. So if you're going to give me a 31% usage rate with up against the league worst defense, if Darius Garland is down, yeah, Colin Sexton has to be a play. With Garland in the mix, Sexton's usage is still very high, 29%. So extremely viable no matter what up against this Kings defense. Like this game, a little chunk. You don't see the Cavs involve a lot of high.
And if Garland plays, I think he's actually a great tournament play. Being questionable all day, gets ruled in at 5,500 against Sacramento Kings. Mm-hmm. This could be 35 plus 40 spot for him.
I do agree. B Legendary. What's up, B? What value to look for on FanDuel? Like 5x? So I do think that question's Slate subjective, but I also feel like it's price subjective. So I used to just like the short answer for me is 6x. But I mean, how many times in the last week have I not cashed for 350? So 6x is getting a little lazy. I would say that in the 5K or less, I'm looking for 6, 7, 8. I need more for my value, guys, than a lot of people think. A lot of people are happy with 6x from 3K, which logistically, you're not winning a tournament with 15 to 18 fantasy points from a mid-price player. You need that guy that's going to overperform, go 8, 9x. And then with the 8Ks and above, I can live at the 40s, even though I still – want to push 50. So I do feel like it's like a tax bracket, right? There's different salary levels, 3 min price to 4 or 5. I'm looking for 8 to 10x, and then onward and upward based on the tournament size, the slate size, and just the game size. If we just get 4 really low scoring games, we're just going to attack raw points. But generally, the lazy answer for me is 6x, but I think it deserves a lot more context. What's up, Self? Do you like Capella today on FanDuel? I do, but I don't know how often I'm going to make a lineup that doesn't just play Moses Brown. If you guys missed it, Al Horford's out. And Moses Brown is 4,300 against the Minnesota, I almost said Twins. I'm in baseball mode. Minnesota Timberwolves. And anytime you give this guy, minutes, he's producing. The last couple big minute games, 28 minutes against the Rockets, 29 minutes against the Chicago Bulls. We've seen 50 and 30. So that's probably going to take up a lot of my center spot. So, like, if it isolated, if the question is, do I like Clint Capella as the third highest priced the center, like, he's viable, but I'm not running to it. There's going to be a lot of value. Like, I'm going to like Rashawn Holmes. I'm going to love Moses Brown. And I even like some Jared Allen to get a little funky with it. So, I think it's fine, but I don't know that I'm running it. Oklahoma City Thunder at the Minnesota Timberwolves. As our segue here, projects 35 for the for the Thunder. Theo Maledon, SGA, Alexis Pokusevski, Isaiah Roby, Moses Brown up against Ricky Rubio, crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Josh Okogie, Jaden McDaniels, and Karl Anthony Towns, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. We got 230.5 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Minnesota Timberwolves. Al Horford out for rest. I think we're just a phone call away from him being traded. He rests every other game, but it makes sense. SGA had a Q-tag slapped on him. Let me see if I can get an update on that situation, because that would definitely
he's good to go now.
He's probably okay. And then on the Minnesota Timberwolves side, it's more of the same here. So I like this game for SGA just to lead the team in usage more than likely. I think a lot of people will maybe not get there, not necessarily because they think SGA is a bad play, but just because you're playing Chris Middleton and guys like that. So I think he might get lost in the sauce. And he's definitely not as consistent. He's a much more volatile play in a spot like this. Him and Donovan Mitchell really mirror each other for me in terms of like how often I find myself loving them in their spot, and then they just like are average plays.
I feel like SGA lets me down more.
He does, yeah.
I probably play him more just because of the way the team's built, but for how the team's built, I just feel like he should be more of a consistent.
You really feel like he should be. Yesterday or on the 18th, 31 minutes against the Atlanta Hawks. 18 shot attempts, so the volume was there. Almost no peripherals, 28 fantasy points. We're looking for the 50s. I still got to believe the 50s are a range of outcomes, but like I said, it's a little bit more volatile based on his day-to-day or his game-to-game production. One game against Minnesota this season, he dropped 54.8 fantasy points in 34 minutes. So that's the game I want. And I'm willing to kind of teeter that seesaw a little bit just based on how bad the T-Wolves are defensively. They have a 114.6 defensive rating, points per 100 possessions allowed. So that's going to be good for fourth worst in the league. So there's plenty of viability and plenty of potential for him to do well, especially when you take off Darius Bazley and Al Horford. So I like SGA, Raj, but I think he's a tier 3 just because he's super volatile. Maybe that change is getting closer to lock, but like I can't see myself not wanting to at least match the field on the Jrue Holidays and on the Chris Middleton. So that's where I'm at there. And then Moses Brown, I think he's tier 1 core value on FanDuel. DraftKings at 5-1. I'm curious to see where he lands. I do think 30 to 50 is a range of outcome for him in this matchup. And then on the T-Wolves side, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, both guys we can easily run it back with. How comfortable is 7.7K Anthony Edwards? I mean, he's more expensive than SGA.
I like him more than SGA.
Just straight up. I will say this. T-Wolves, I thought they were uphill battling against the Suns, road games, tough defense, and this new coach, I guess he's finding something that at least makes them work, if nothing else, for us. But Edwards, Cat are like the two guys I'm leaning on. I think they probably, I don't know that I land on any Rubio with some of the other options today. I don't hate Rubio in a vacuum, but yeah, Edwards and Cat. What are you doing with this game? For if I'm writing a pencil.
Yeah, Edwards might be a tier 1 guy for me, like with the Milwaukee guys, Charlotte guys, and like Jaylen Brown we'll get to. It just seems like at that price, like he had a floor game against Phoenix that second game. He shot 4 for 18, but he got 10 rebounds and 6 assists. So he's still he got you 30, which I think is a floor at that price. Not what you want, but as a floor, it's fine. And he has that 50+ ceiling game. Against OKC, if he shoots well again, I think it could be 40+, touch a 50 bomb. I like it. I think he's consistent. He's a safe play. He's going to chuck 20 shots. He's starting to get these peripherals because he has to do more for this team. Good matchup against OKC. Give me Anthony Edwards. Give me all the Anthony Edwards. I like it. Moses Brown, definitely like him more on FanDuel just because of the price. On DraftKings, he's priced appropriately. He's no longer a value on DraftKings, right, at 5,100. So probably not running to play him there.
But really though,
he's just priced right. He's a good play. He's just not like a core value guy.
I mean, dude,
core value.
A similar spot. No Bazley, no Horford against the Bulls, right? You drop 50. You take 50 all day at 5,100.
Yeah, I mean, that's a ceiling. He still had a floor.
Average range of outcome for me is 30. No Bazley, no Horford. I'm thinking 30 all day against the T-Wolves. So if your average range of outcome, and you don't have to agree, no one has to agree that 30 is the median outcome, but 30 for me is the median outcome. How do I not?
I hear you. I'm looking. I see more as 24, 25. So I mean, he's a fine player. I just don't know if I'll be.
Why is it so low for you?
DraftKings.
I think unfamiliarity is tainting your judgment.
For Moses Brown, I mean, he's gonna see what 20.
I got him at 28, and I think 30 plus is not out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, look, he'll be core on FanDuel. It's just DK.
But I mean, $700 is really that. He's gonna get. I don't know.
And also I mean, that center spot.
Center's not that deep from first glance.
I hear you first glance. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Yeah, you have Holmes air down at 6'7" on FanDuel. Clint Capella, possible 50 bomb. No, I hear you. Robert Williams, really want to get there, be cute. I get it. I mean, maybe closer to lock could become a core on DK, but as of right now, I just like him.
100,
even Cat, I think.
176 minutes of sample size of Moses on, Horford, Bazley off, and this is loose context, but a 21% rebound rate, which easily is the highest on the team, over a fantasy point per minute. There's an 18% usage. That's fine for a big. I don't necessarily have the pushback.
It's almost the same price on FanDuel too.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think that, like, even if I put them on the court together, like, I don't think Rogue is a bad play himself. This is more of like a focus on a Moses Brown. If I put them both on the court, that's about 80 minutes of sample size. Moses Brown goes to a 26% rebound rate in that sample size. So I don't know. I think the lack of familiarity is tainting judgment here. I think Moses could be an elite play at either price. It's the T-Wolves.
It is T-Wolves. Cavs is a good matchup. I mean, I hear you. I mean, maybe drag closer lock on DK. I'll get to him. But I'll probably be underweight on SGA on the field, I think.
Do you think SGA, like, I don't think that statement's, like, the thought process is if we thought SGA was going to be super trendy, but, like, is SGA going to be super trendy? Like, Paul George, $100 left against the Hawks. Chris Middleton without Giannis.
Okay, SGA's going to be more than Paul George, for sure.
Maybe. What about Middleton? Definitely not, right?
Definitely not Middleton.
And if Darius Garland gets scratched, Colin Sexton.
Yeah, so he might. I mean, Anthony Edwards.
Drew Holiday is also shooting guard eligible. I don't know, man. Like, I'm an SGA. Like, I like SGA in the spot, but you click that game log. There's a lot of people touching the stove getting burned here. So I don't know. I'm curious. What would you say his ownership is? We got 8 games.
At 8 games.
30? Are you over under 30? I'm going. 30, yeah. No, I'm talking about the field. I'm going under 30 at the field. That's just my.
Yeah, I think the field probably comes in at 20.
Okay, so you want to be under 20 on SGA like 10, against the T-Wolves.
Yeah. Only 20 lives, so we have him like 2.
I don't know. I'm probably going to tier 2 SGA.
And like, I like Jaylen Brown more than SGA.
Yeah, without Kevin. Yeah, this is why I don't necessarily believe SGA is going to be a guy that we have to make a deep thought on. But anyway, how much Anthony Edwards for you?
Anthony Edwards, I probably want maybe 30. 30, I'm thinking 30%.
You want 30%?
I don't know if I'll take a lot of. Yeah, like I feel like a lot of these kind of the shooting out, like with him, Middleton, Drew, Brown. Like, I might just end up being 30 to 40% on all of them.
That's lazy. That's lazy.
It is a little lazy. It's just like I don't know. I feel like you're coin flipping. They're all great spots, same price essentially.
Ty Jerome, maybe somebody to look at as a deep field punt. 26 minutes for him projected on both sides under 5K. And then Theo Malinov is 4,600 on FanDuel. Don't really think I get there because I don't want to give up a point guard spot. But there are some cheap, viable punt options here. Even if like you buy the chalk today, you can get a little different in your value. You know, kind of be cognitive of some of these guys. Let's matriculate on to the next game. San Antonio Spurs hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Project 25 for the Hornets. Devontae, Moonlight, Graham, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Bismack Biyombo. The Big Mac Bimbo taking on Dejounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? 224 is our total. 5.5 point spread in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. LaMelo Ball down, out for the count, done for the season. Devontae Graham has entered the chat. He's 4,300 on FanDuel, sub 5K on DraftKings. You know, he is still coming back from an injury. And since that injury, we've seen his minutes kind of fluctuate as he's been more of a kind of a six-man guy. 18, 22, 17, 22. So I don't want to over-speculate that maybe he's not going to be a 30-minute guy today, but we'll see. He's been dealing with a wrist injury. I do think there's enough games here to suggest that his conditioning should kind of be back where it needs to be. So I'm probably going to sit him at 30 minutes and really not push back against it. But what this is going to do is it's going to create elevated usage really for the rest of the team and elevated responsibility. So LaMelo was a good facilitator and a good peripheral getter. So I guess we go back and let's go use the on-off court tool for them. But I think like the guys that people are gravitating towards are Devontae and Terry Rozier. And I'm kind of wondering if Gordon Hayward is getting a little bit slept
Yep.
on. So let me put Devontae, Gordon, and Scary Terry on. We take LaMelo off. We're not going to deal with the center situation or anything like that. We've got 376 minutes of sample size on the season. The usage rates are pretty even. 24% on Rozier, 24% on Hayward, 20% on Devontae, and 19% on PJ. So that reminds me of like the Celtics from a few years back. Devontae Graham has the highest assist percentage at 28%. And they're all about a fantasy point per minute or less, with Gordon Hayward being a little bit over. So a couple of ranges of outcomes here in a 224.
On a minutes limit, or
I think it was a little bit of easing him back in, a little bit of letting LaMelo kind of vibe here a little bit. I don't know if he's on a like official limit. Do you see something like that? Because I just think it was like watching him come back from a wrist injury.
Gotcha.
Couple of ranges of outcomes here. One, the Hornets all hit value because they're all kind of like obtainable price wise. Spurs not really a run from defense. Two, one of them's an elite play. Everyone else is meh or sucky. Or three, they're all like average and don't win tournaments. So I would also like to note that Cody Zeller's out, and we've seen them kind of lean PJ Washington as a backup big. You might see some bigger minutes from them. So Hornets, what's your approach here? You seem like you're going to be thinking more of a DraftKings mindset here. And DraftKings, you got to pay a little bit more for all of the Hornets. But is anybody like gravitating towards the front? Because Gordon Hayward is not that far from Middleton, and I think we're all going Middleton there. Mm-hmm. But, like, where do you logistically land?
I mean, if you make those balanced lines, everyone's 7K. Play Gordon Hayward, play Anthony Edwards, play Jaylen Brown together with Middleton and all those guys. So I think Devontae Graham's kind of like a core value guy, both sides. 4,300 on FanDuel, 48 on DK, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
4,800. So, I mean, I'm not going to avoid that situation. If he gets, I mean, he's played 17, 22, 18 minutes past 3 games. Given 28 maybe with no LaMelo, if he touches 30, he's going to smash, I think, at that price against San Antonio. So I don't see any way to avoid that. Terry Rozier, I like more on FanDuel for sure, a little cheaper, but even on DraftKings, he should be a consistent 30-plus here at 6'6". If he touches 40, that's great. And then you have Gordon Hayward, who, again, people aren't showing a lot of love, but it's one of those things. It's like when Ingram has big games without Lonzo, I feel like Gordon Hayward has big games without LaMelo, just because he does take over some of the playmaking occasionally. Because Terry Rozier is more of a scoring guard, along with Devontae Graham.
I don't think the numbers agree with that. I mean, I do think Hayward can play make. He has a 20% assist rate, but Devontae Graham leads the team in assist percentage without LaMelo. He's at 28%. So I think like it's easy to write. Hayward? Gordon Hayward's at 19.7%, so 20%. So it's about an 8% gap. So, like, yeah, I do think that. But when we say Devontae's more of this, like, the numbers haven't kind of showed that. And even if we elongate on that a little bit to last year, should broaden the sample size a little bit. It really doesn't. But, again, Devontae leads them in. Huh?
Going to play all three of them. At the end of the day, I mean, just mix them in and out. I don't know if I'll play 3 Charlotte guys
together. I was gonna say, could you get to 3 in the same lineup?
I mean, maybe 2 in like center. PJ Washington has some big games. PJ Washington, when he gets those center minutes, has had massive.
So I'm willing to be down on him in this game.
He's priced up a little bit.
No, I don't necessarily think I love this man. I'm curious.
PJ Washington center games was winning tournaments.
I agree, but San Antonio, as much slack as they get as a team defense, Jakob Poeltl's individual defense is pretty stout, and the Spurs have been giving up a bottom 7 amount of fantasy points per game to centers. They do struggle a little bit more against power forwards, so if he does get a little bit of time at both, he'll fall into rebounds. But I do think like this isn't necessarily like a ceiling matchup. I think Jakob Poeltl is kind of an unsung defender. So
I think in tournaments, find get real cute. Malik Monk, kind of the first guy off the bench, scoring punch. We've seen him have some big games. 4K if you want like a tournament flyer at less than 5% ownership. I think Malik Monk.
Yeah. Have we seen Devontae confirmed starting? I'm just kind of curious.
I think we all assume.
Says Graham
Monk starts and
could be set for a return. So I also assume Devontae's just starting, but I wonder if there's a lineup that keeps Graham off the bench in existence. We'll see. If they're like,
but Spurs, I think I'm fading. not running enough lines to get to the Spurs for me. Like if I was running, 20, 30, 40, 50 lines, maybe some, but like in a 3 max, I'm definitely not getting to any Spurs.
I saw someone on Twitter yesterday. A big San Antonio Spurs fan was he just openly tagged he was like, I got money. Do I buy a Dejounte Murray jersey or do I buy tickets to this game? And Dejounte Murray quote tweeted him and said, "You figure out which one you want, and I'll take care of the other." So good guy Dejounte Murray buying or the guy said he'd get the tickets, which is smart. If a player tells you buy the ticket or the jersey, get the ticket.
You buy the ticket.
He'll give you his. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's gonna give you his jersey. I think. I don't know if COVID protocol stops that, but yeah, he bought the ticket. True. So smart decision there. I kind of agree. Although I would say Jakob Poeltl on FanDuel 5,400. Maybe don't forget he exists because 30+ fantasy points.
Now, that's a tournament flyer. So no one's gonna get to him whenever we're playing Holmes or
also Raj.
That price.
Over the weekend, since our last stream, Keldon Johnson had a 20 rebound game.
He did,
and it is the Charlotte Hornets. So. Maybe, just maybe, Keldon Johnson is somebody we can lean on for 30+ minutes and really kind of get there. I mean, 30 fantasy points would be suffice. And I do think, this is one of those matchups with a little bit of oomph on it, right? A little extra pizzazz. Keldon Johnson, 15 shots in his last 2 games. Yeah,
the Rose are coming off a 50 bomb, too.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to sleep on the So DeRozan is like SGA. Like, this is not consistent, but the matchup's pure.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we're playing, like, let's say, Gordon Hayward and Chris Middleton together, if you play, like, DeRozan and SGA, you are so different in tournaments, and I think they provide the same upside.
Yeah, they also provide the same volatility. Let's move on to the next game. Houston Rockets hosting the Toronto Raptors. Projects 35 for the Raptors. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam taking on John Wall, Kevin Porter, Daniel House, Jayshawn Tate, and Christian Wood. Raj, you playing DFS yesterday? See what the Rockets did?
I did play DFS. I played John Wall yesterday. Came through.
So what's the deal? It wasn't Christian Wood on a minutes limit and stuff like that. I looked at the box score because that wasn't on the main slate. John Wall had like 35 minutes. Oladipo had 40. Wood had over 30. Yeah. So like, is 30-minute Christian Wood back? Because the Raptors have been getting smoked by bigs.
Oh yeah.
With that said, man, oh my God, you got to feel for the Rockets. Even if you hate the Rockets, you got to feel for them. They're going through the ringer right now. They haven't won a game since like the Trump administration. It's bad.
What's the streak at now?
I don't know, but like I felt bad. The coach, I saw a little clip of the Rockets coach after the game, and they were like, "Does this one sting?" And I literally, like, you saw a broken man about to cry, and he just
20 games in a row.
It was so hard to watch. Imagine being.
Did they tie the record?
I don't know.
They just tied the record. But they got to win. No. Whatever, I know. The record is 28 consecutive games. They're at 20.
Anyway, but Silas was just like, he was about to burst in tears. So like the frustration levels on these Rockets players and the coaching staff is real. It's high. It's all-time high, and this is literally
on paper. This team is not.
It's just gone through a lot. But like I said, imagine being hired to get like James Harden, Russell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, I'll go be the Rockets head coach. The Rockets have been deep, and then all hell breaks loose. DeMarcus,
but I mean, like on paper, are they really? I swear they're not that bad of a team. Like Victor Oladipo, John Wall, and Christian Wood are a decent, like quote unquote.
Right, but I mean, they haven't had a game with all of them since like yesterday, and yesterday they lost by a bucket. So they just can't stay healthy. It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. With Eric Gordon off and on the injury report, Oladipo resting, Walls here and there. Wood's been down this whole stretch. Like it's tough. So it's tough. I feel I'm really hoping the Rockets win one really soon because they definitely don't deserve to be this down bad, right? On the Raptors side, Kyle Lowry, it's basically a full-strength Raptors. I didn't even have a name to write on the injury report. We haven't seen that in a while. So we're going to see a bunch of 7 to 8K guys, 35-plus minutes on Lowry, Van Vliet, and deep minutes all the way around. I don't think we're getting a great discount just yet on these prices. There's been a lot of seesawing based on who's been out for the Raptors. So I think my eyes are more so on the Rockets here. Either they're broken or they're not going to lose, right? They're going to have to come out here and play. I think Christian Wood being a 30-plus minute player is very interesting to me, even on a back-to-back, because he definitely has some of the highest upside, I think, in the center position today. And 36 minutes yesterday is encouraging, and we know he can. At 8K, 40 plus is there every time he plays 30 minutes. It just is. And lately, the Raptors has just been getting smoked by bigs from a fantasy perspective. Like we said, this is not the same front court defense of Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka and guys like that. Raptors are definitely a team you can kind of pick on here. So I do like the thought of Christian Wood. And I think on FanDuel, he would be ultra. I don't know if he would be ultra. Actually, on FanDuel, is he still a power forward? If so, that could be different. Oh, he is. He's power forward. Okay, I was going to say on FanDuel, the thought of Wood versus Moses, but you don't have to get there. So, is Christian Wood the only guy you could like play in 20 or less lines here, or do you have?
Oh no, John Wall is outscoring.
So John Wall for me is right there with the frustration and inconsistency of like SGA and DeRozan. It's just like every time I play him, where he
has
can't
a much higher floor than SGA.
But so we say that, but like now that he's sharing with Christian Wood, like Christian Wood should be the guy that this team drives.
He should be the guy, but I mean, I think John Wall gets 10 plus assists with Christian Wood hitting those shots. 28-10 spot for John Wall. It's the Raptors who've been giving up a ton of points, playing no defense. I mean, John Wall and Christian Wood together could get you 100.
You say that. Are you playing John Wall like with confidence,
yes.
with absolute confidence? John Wall at 7-1.
I like John Wall more than Drew Holiday today.
No, what?
Yeah,
no.
I take John Wall over Drew Holiday 1v1 today. I think Milwaukee has more guys on that team, even with Giannis out.
Doesn't scare you. They played 35 minutes last night.
I mean, the back-to-back, that was the initial worry, but with Oladipo sitting and Porter questionable.
It's going to be his third game in 4 nights, too, by the way.
He had a year off before this.
I mean, I don't disagree with the thought. I just... We say, logistically, when we put it in practice, how...
Like, I get the back-to-back minutes.
But not it's just like, how do you literally look at like all these names and say, all right, Wall's
he's so cheap. He's 7-1.
I guess. Like, I'm pushing back on it.
He's like $8,300. Yeah. He's like an $8,300 player, I think. He's $1,000 too cheap.
Dude,
against the Toronto Raptors.
Dante DiVincenzo might be a better...
That's what I'm saying. I like Dante DiVincenzo too. We'll get to that, but I love John Wall.
So if you run 20 lineups, how much Wall do you actually have? Like I ACP, I see that. Like, I don't hate this take either. I just I feel like 25. I don't land there. Like I just don't think John Wall is
like in the.
You said 25% and 20.
Yeah, 25% 20. Like you have him, you have Colin Sexton, you have Drew Holiday, you have the Terry Roziers of the world.
All right,
Monte Graham value.
Yeah. I don't think it like it's definitely not crazy. It's just like something I don't think I put into practice. Third game in 4 nights for Wall, just a ridiculous losing streak. I'm worried about some mental.
The third game 4 nights obviously is the worry, but again, it's the Raptors. The Raptors haven't exactly been a juggernaut this year.
They're fully healthy.
Yeah, they are.
Let's get caught up on chat a little bit. I've been kind of slacking on the chat. Dad says, is the city of Toronto all in favor of trading Lowry? Oh, man.
I mean, he thinks he should be in a winning spot. If we get a little Tyler Hero, if we get a nice young piece, don't hate it.
Life of Sense says, Rockets beating my Raptors tonight. Money line is 4X. I'm taking it.
I can see it happening.
Like I said, I think it is definitely a sink or swim mentality, right? Like, so when I look at those minutes, if we're getting a bunch of guys playing 35, 40 minutes, we're getting a bunch of guys that are sick of losing. They're just like, God dang it, I'm going to be out here playing. Jason Smithy says, "Hey man, I want to join the premium. Cash is tight, but I have a Halliburton Series 2 Top Shot card. Lowest asked around 60. Will you hook me up for it?" Yeah, Jason, I would. I actually have that card too. So if you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundecker, hit me up, and then make sure you have an account at rundfs.com, and I'll get it all set up. If anybody else is curious about joining Run DFS VIP and would rather just use Top Shot as currency, I'm all for that. Willie Hoops says, "Big Cat's going to eat all night against Moses. Who knows? Will likely foul out against the Cat. Fade Moses as value center." Okay. Wall over Drew and DraftKings. I don't know. Let me, when we get to that game, I'm going to run some numbers here, but I am, I don't know. I think Wall's burned me more than he's like satisfied me, and like 40, maybe on FanDuel, the fact that he's 7-8, I can fade it easier. But like my
7-1 is cheap.
Yeah, but see, like my projections don't even like love that. So I don't know. Maybe I got him at 32.
Yeah. I mean, I think go for 35, but 32 is fine.
Got a couple base set Charizards. I know that's a Pokemon, but I don't know anything about Pokemon to know if that's like good or not.
If you have first edition Charizard, that's about 50 grand. I don't know.
I don't know these things.
20 to 50 grand. Yeah.
When it comes to Pokemon, I'd be the guy that washes the baseball because someone wrote on it. I don't know. Fade Wall, Sexter, Drew, much better picks. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next game. Indiana Pacers at the Milwaukee Bucks. Project starting 5 for the Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon, I'm coming home. Revenge game. Karis LeVert, Justin Holiday, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner taking on Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, and Brook Lopez. We got a 231.5 total, 5-point spread in favor of the home team, Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo not gonna play. I'm talking like this. This is weird. Malcolm Brogdon, I like the price on. Well, I don't like the price, but like I feel like going back to Milwaukee, this game has a better chance of staying close now without Giannis. And I wouldn't be stunned if the Pacers pull this one off. By the way, Sabonis is $9K. Like no one's paying this collective price $16K for Brogdon and Sabonis. But are we stunned if Sabonis drops a 50 bomb here? Right? I do think this front court gets a little bit softer. And then on the Bucks side, this entire team becomes the source of a lot of value and trendiness. Bobby Portis is almost free on FanDuel, 4,100 on DraftKings, assuming he gets a bump. Like this could be the PJ Tucker, okay, we traded for you, let's see what you got, stand in that corner game. But assuming he at least gets a bump in minutes, whether it be starting or not, and perhaps even more lucrative off the bench, he just seems like an elite value play. Chris Middleton, we know the song and dance here. So let's go ahead and just go run the on-off court tool here, and then we'll run some stat muses. I did a stat muse on Middleton without Giannis earlier, and outside a couple 25-minute or less blowouts, it was a thing of beauty. So just in general with the Bucks, we put Giannis off the court. We've got a 32.3% usage rate on Chris Middleton. That's over a fantasy point per minute. Bobby Portis over a fantasy point per minute at 21% usage rate. Rebound rates are pretty spread out. Augustine has 298 minutes there, so we're going to go ahead and take Augustine off, right? And kind of narrow down these minutes. So, yeah, okay. Portis goes to a fantasy point per minute on 21%. Middleton's at 29% usage. Drew Holiday's at 28% usage. This is a full stack opportunity. Even Dante DiVincenzo has been really, really solid lately.
He's been insane. I don't know what he's been on.
I mean, a couple extra minutes here, trading away DJ Augustine. This entire pre-flop, the entire Bucks team is stackable. Obviously, at the end of the night, maybe not all of them were good plays, but like pre-flop, you could even justify like Brook Lopez to an extent. Like Giannis Antetokounmpo represents that much in each category: points, rebounds. Like he just represents that much that it would positively impact everyone else, especially since everyone else is like 7K or less. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton probably going to be two of the anchors, the linchpins of lineups tonight. You sound like you're a little bit like not sold on Drew. I don't see the downside here.
No, I'm not sold on. I really want to fade Middleton. I don't know if I have the balls to do it, but I 100% want to fade Middleton in this spot.
Is there a reason?
I just think it's just a game theory play at his ownership, and there's just so many other pivots at that price that can just get you that 50. And I think I'd be overweight on DiVincenzo the way he's been playing. So go overweight on DiVincenzo, fade Middleton, pass on Drew, and go all in on Portis. Just cheap 4,100. Just get him 100%. Get way over the field at that price value. He dropped 40 plus on him last game in 16 minutes. You give this guy 28 minutes. I mean, he has to smash unless he gets hurt. But at Middleton, I mean, we've just seen this guy. He can end up with like a 35 at 7,600. You know what I mean? And at his own shit.
Could he though? Like, could he?
No, he could.
Last 10 games. What the freak? Last 10 games of Chris Middleton without Giannis. He scored less than 40 fantasy points 3 times. Let's put some context here. One of them was I don't know if he got injured or what, but it was against the Grizzlies, and he played just 21 minutes, and he was over a fantasy point per minute. The other was against the Toronto Raptors. Final score of 114 to 106, so I'm assuming it's a little bit of a blowout. And then, ironically, it was against the Pacers, a 7-point game where he played 34 minutes. So outside of minute outliers here, like in a close game, he's not playing 25 or less minutes. He's probably getting 35 minutes.
I mean, that 34-minute game against Indiana.
Yeah, well, we're talking like
same team as a sign.
Last year though, like it's not a sign. What? That becomes the outlier. Like if we expand that to 15 games here,
it's just a game.
So
that number stay playing. No Giannis.
Yeah.
At that price, yeah, I mean, if you want to pivot off that, Anthony Edwards, Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown. If you go overweight any of those guys, say if you're fading full Middleton, you want to just go higher on those guys. All 3 of those guys have 50-point upside. And this Milwaukee team has DiVincenzo, has Drew Holiday, and Bobby Portis is going to, a good amount of usage when he's out there on the floor. I really want to fade Middleton. I just don't know if I have the stones to do it.
I'm pretty curious to see if Portis starts or not. I think he would, but I don't feel like you got PJ Tucker for no reason. So this just might be just one of those experimental.
If PJ Tucker starts,
then Middleton doesn't drop. Yeah, I get it. Bobby Portis takes away. I don't know. We'll see.
But I'm playing Bobby Portis regardless even if he doesn't start. I like him because I think he might close up the game. Even in 25.
Pacer side here. Bucks are still going to run a fast pace. Their defense takes a hit. Their defense already has been locked down. Karis LeVert has been not breaking slates. Could he be the sleeping giant at 6'4", 5K on FanDuel, whatever it is? 35 minutes against Miami. These back-to-back 24s, people are just, ugh. But the double-digit shot attempts are there. It's a fast-paced matchup. I mean, Miami's a tougher defense. Brooklyn, he did just fine, 35. I'm looking for a little bit more. Is there a world where LeVert has like an unsung 40 fantasy points?
I mean, there's other guys at that price who can give you that same place. I'm not too high on him. Sabonis is a sleeping dragon here.
But he's 9K. No.
Yeah,
6K, 5-6. That's
the bomb though. This could be a 60 bomb though. This is a 60 bomb waiting to happen. He dropped 60 on him last game with Giannis playing. So no Giannis defense. He's going to see Portis and PJ Tucker who's undersized. I mean, this is a bonus game to me. And I think he's going to be less than 5% owned, I think.
Do you think the Bucks should be favorited?
I mean, the Bucks still have like a decent this again.
Drew, but this Pacers team is not bad.
LeVert, Brogdon, that's true. I might put the favorite Indiana by 3.
Maybe it's a home cooking thing. I don't know.
Brogdon's another guy no one's going to play, and he's just been a consistent 38, 35, 38.
Yeah, I said a little pizzazz on a revenge game. TJ McConnell in a pace-up spot. TJ McConnell's 4,600 on FanDuel, by the way. That's like the same price as like a Theo Maledon. And on a pace-up spot, a couple extra possessions.
Double special.
I don't know about that, but a pace-up spot. McConnell 30 fantasy points.
Miami.
Yeah, 15 assists. Yeah, 15 assists. Yeah, McConnell's he's a scrapper, dog. So FanDuel, McConnell might be a play. 29.
He might be.
Maybe that turned into a 30 game on FanDuel.
I mean, on DraftKings 5,600, tough price tag. But if he has 50-point upside, I've seen like more 50-point games from McConnell this year than his career. I don't know. I feel like every time I look up every once a week or something, he has a 50-point game.
Checking out the live chat. This is an interesting game, chat. Like, don't leave anything unsaid. If you guys got thoughts on this, I think the Bucks shaped the slate one way or the other, whether it be good chalk, bad chalk. So if you guys have thoughts, even you lurkers, join the conversation. Is it weird that I thought about fading Middleton too? Says ACP. I mean, there's always viability in the thought of fading highest owned players on a decent sized slate. Like the leverage creates itself. So I don't think it's weird at all.
And there's just so many pivots today in great spots.
I do agree with that. Jason Smith says, "Why are you fading Middleton for who?" Like you said, there's definitely plenty of pivots.
Jaylen Brown, you got Anthony Edwards, you got Gordon Hayward, Colin Sexton, 7,100. Like if Garland gets ruled out, you can make a real case like Colin Sexton over Middleton straight up. Colin Sexton's going against Sacramento, which is a better matchup than Indiana. No Garland. Sexton's coming off of look at, I don't want to game, but past week it's 45, 38, 49. And I think if Garland gets ruled out, I might like Sexton over Middleton.
That's spicy.
Talk about it.
I don't know.
But the 7K range is loaded today.
It is.
Loaded.
It is. Pete says, if Tucker starts, I want Brolo. If Portis starts, I'll take Portis. Power forward incentives versus Pacers. I agree with that sentiment. I also do like the fact that Pacers are up there in blocks allowed per game, 5.7 on the season. I think if we put some context to that, blocks per game allowed, using the team metrics tab to run DFS.com VIP spreadsheet, that's good for, top 10. Like, they're up there. 5.9 is the highest, so 5.7 is boom right there. So Brook Lopez can have those fake block games. He's averaging over one block per game. Miles Turner also gives up a lot of blocks, but both these guys play similar styles. Actually, Miles Turner is Brook Lopez. Now that I think about it, they both chuck threes. They both hunt blocks. They don't rebound well. There's your comp.
Just a little skinnier.
The Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. Miles Turner is Brook Lopez. All right. Alan Chris says Sabonis. I love tonight 53 for Sabonis. I'm with that. I don't disagree with the sentiment that Sabonis can get us 50, but at 9K he has to get us 50. So take that as you will. Mundo's World says Justin Holiday has been balling, and the game against his brother should be interesting. Some Holiday brother action. I'm with it. Rod's calling a triple-double for TJ. If so, I'm playing him.
Talk about it.
Bro, every time you make some dumb call and I call you on it, I think Life of Sin is one of those guys that goes back and comments like, Rod's had you there. And then Dez did it last time. We had that stupid Wizards 130 over the freaking Jazz, man. Ibsen says, "God, how much is month-to-month subscription? Tired of losing my wife. Put a gun to my head and said, win or else." Hold on, what?
I got the place to save your marriage and your life.
I don't know, man. Any wife that doesn't let you lose money being a degenerate gambler, it's not a wife I want. Just kidding. Is she sleeping? McConnell might be the play from Indiana. I do like McConnell on FanDuel. I think it's cheap enough. You give him a fast-paced spot. He's fine. The month sub, I think, right now is at 80, which it's actually, so it's usually the sitting price is 100 a month during like peak time, like whenever there's NFL, NBA, baseball. So when there's like one sport, I try to like I don't know, I'm not in it for the money. I try to depress it a little bit. So now there's just one sport. I've been sitting at 80, but in a couple weeks I'm going to be pulling double duty, man, NBA and MLB. So it might go back up to 100, but I haven't made that decision just yet. But right now it's 80, and like I said, I do accept TopShot. So some of you guys have some of that TopShot stuff you can't withdraw. I can. No, I've actually withdrawn. So I'm fine with using that as currency. Honestly, I think Rozier can match Middleton tonight. Definitely think it's possible. Like I definitely don't want people to walk away from this conversation thinking that I think Middleton's a bad play, because I don't think Middleton's a bad play at all.
Yeah, I think it's a bad play.
Yeah, I think
Just a game theory play.
the spirit of this is just game theory leverage. Like, are there pivots that can do better at, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Middleton gets you 40 all day long, you'll take it at 7K.
Yeah.
Is there a 45-50 out there at the same position, a similar price? Those extra points will get you there. So that's just
It's gonna be annoying because if he goes left for like 60, he'll be dead.
Oh, you'd be out of there. I'm not playing any of those guys over Middleton without Giannis. You're sleeping on his upside. On Middleton's upside without Giannis, I mean, the ceiling's for sure there. He dropped 76, I think. What was that, the Hawks? Washington, I mean, that's an elite spot. I will say that, like, the Pacers aren't some, like, scrub defense when fully healthy. I think, they're a TJ Warren away from, like, really being a problem. But I also think, like, the Bucks' offensive rating, I'm curious, what does it go to without Giannis? Take Giannis off the court. I got an offensive rating, 114, 120. So it's still pretty doggone high. So I don't know. Rozier dropped 50 on San Antonio last game. Yeah, Rozier's fine too. Like, there's so many, and that's what Roger's getting at. There's a lot of pivots, a lot of upside everywhere. Boston Celtics at the Memphis Grizzlies. Next game on the docket. Project starting five for the Celtics: Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Semi Ojeleye, maybe Daniel Tice taking on John Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? And Jonas Valanciunas, 219.5 total. 2 point spread to favor the home team. Home team going OT, Memphis Grizzlies. So we get a Celtics team without Kemba Walker. We see this once a week. And we know that guys like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum do thrive in the absence of Kemba. Yesterday, Jaylen Brown shot 24 field goal attempts. That's 4 games in a row of 20-plus shot attempts. And he's gotten you 45 or more in 4 games straight. Now, Utah at home, 39 minutes. What are you going to do? At Cleveland, bad defense. Sacramento, bad defense. And Orlando, really bad defense against guards. A lot of really plus matchups. I'll give them that. But the minutes, the volume, and without Kemba Walker, the usage will be there for Jaylen Brown. So immediately you can create the fire, spark the fire of Middleton versus Jaylen Brown. I think a lot of lineups will have both. But this is why I think, like, maybe, I don't know, when you start the slate, you hear Giannis out, you just assume Chris Middleton's 80% owned. Like, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's not that ridiculously high owned. Let's go pull up the on-off court tool here for the Celtics. Let's take Kemba off. Let's put Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on and just kind of get some numbers. We have 450 minutes of sample size. We've got a 27% usage rate on Brown, a 30% on Tatum, over a fantasy point per minute for both. Both guys pre-flop, great plays. But I think right now the hot hand is Jaylen Brown. Tatum's at 8.8, 8.6. Are you going to have more of one or the other? I feel like it's going to be more Brown than Tatum, just based on a little value.
Yeah, more Brown than Tatum.
Okay. Anyone else here? Like Marcus Smart, 5K. I think I like him more against like fast-paced, sloppy teams where you can get a little bit more of those defensive peripherals. But if you look at his minutes last couple games, 33, 34, it'll give you a puncher's chance at 30 fantasy points. So I don't think he's like an asinine play.
I think pretty safe.
Yeah.
At that price against Memphis. No Kemba, don't hate it. Jaylen Brown definitely my highest known guy. I mean, he's just been playing a lot better lately.
Your highest owned player on the slate, or highest owned like from this team?
The highest owned Celtics.
Okay.
Yeah, from Celtics. I mean, past 4 games, 21, 26, 20, 24 shots. He's just chucking on me. He's kind of leading this team scoring-wise. He's still getting you the peripherals.
He dropped 42 real points on the Grizzlies last game, 58 fantasy points.
That's what I'm talking about. So give me all the Jaylen Brown. I mean, so Jaylen Brown versus Chris Middleton? I think I'm leading Jaylen Brown. I could just be really.
I think I like it. It's rough. Like I think the ceiling's in Brown, the floor might be in Middleton, but I don't even know if that's a true statement.
I mean, the way Brown's been playing, with no Kemba, I want to say Memphis is a better matchup than Indiana. So I mean, give me some of him. Give me some. I think you're gonna have to play some Tatum too. He could be a 50 bomb at his price 8.6. I mean, again, you play Tatum and Brown together, you can combine for 100 if this game goes, goes right. Even though Tatum has been really inconsistent, I don't know if he's still battling some COVID stuff, but he's shown a floor in the mid-20s. So
keep an eye on TT. TT's been dealing with contact tracing, I think.
he's ruled out. Tristan Thompson.
He got ruled out. All right, so in the
Yeah,
absence
he got ruled out. So
in the absence of Tristan Thompson, there's been like a spin the wheel, make a deal for tournaments between Robert Williams and Daniel Tice. And Tice is intriguing because he's a power forward on FanDuel. I guess he's power forward eligible on DraftKings as well. But you're seeing like the floor ceiling range of outcome 1.5, 39, 11, 29, 36. Yeah. We want the 30s. Earlier this season, he dropped 26 in 19 minutes. So if the minutes are there for him, we'll like it. And then Robert Williams, he's Boban, man. 6K is a little bit up there if the median range of outcome is going to be 30. But there is a world where he could, flirt with 40. So I think he's like, he's the second coming of Chris Boucher from DFS, but his per minute is like Boban. So maybe he's somebody that in a long, deep field tournament, if you're playing 150 lineups, you just toss in there pitter patter. But for the most part, I'm kind of just leaning Brown. I don't even know if I could legit logic says I should have some Tatum, especially if I'm going to have so much Brown. But I just don't know if I put into practice, will I actually end up with that much Tatum after the fact?
I hear you.
Because at 8-8 on like he's 200, like it was a couple $100 from Sabonis. Like at 1v1, just if they were the same price, Sabonis or Tatum.
No, Sabonis. But I will say with the Thieves Robert Williams situation, I'm glad we have Bobby Porter, so I kind of avoid that. You don't need to take that risk. I think Bobby Porter is just kind of a similar play to Thieves, but with a higher floor and higher ceiling.
Remember when, like,
in this spot
in years past, when Giannis would be out?
Bledsoe, Middleton.
No, there was like the the random power forward would either be like DJ Wilson or Ersan Ilyasova. It's just like. Oh, Bobby Portis isn't that, but hopefully. No Grizzlies?
I want to say he's better than those guys. I mean, everyone plays 20 minutes for the Grizzlies, 25 minutes. Ja Morant, I think, is intriguing. 7-3. He's the only guy that plays 30-plus minutes. He's viable, but a strictly deep tournament. Probably have to play 50 lines to get to him today's slate, I think.
Yeah. Let's get caught up in chat here before we move on. Adam says, Gunn, Brown also beat down the Grizzlies last time he played. Center's been feasting against the Celtics. Play some J-Val against the Celtics. That would be super, super unsung, right? Like, I don't think I've played J-Val as much as I should lately. Every time I look up, he's just like a solid 40, 50. So I don't think that's crazy.
Minutes. Like, he's a point per minute monster. Yeah.
Last couple centers against the...
His minutes just kind of limit his...
So, Vooch dropped 45 DKP in 37 minutes against the Celtics. Rashawn Holmes dropped 50, 30, in 33 minutes. He only took 11 field goal attempts, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists. Why did he have like a million free throws? Why do you have 50 points? Let's see, Rashawn Holmes against Boston. He did. Yeah, 10 for 12 from the free throw line. That's crazy. Rudy Gobert, 40 in 34 minutes. So, yeah, I think if you chip in a chair of J-Val for 40, go for it. I do think that 76, 700, when you're making your lineup, you're going to want that money on your mid-tier forwards and guards through Middletons, guys like that. So you're probably going to go a little bit lower at center on the average lineup. But it could be a good game theory play, low ownership, right? Dad says, what's the pace for Memphis? I feel faster-paced teams would favor Smart. Memphis is average pace, 100, probably around league average. Don't fade Smart and Brown. We like some Marcus Smart hype in the chat right now. For me, Marcus Smart needs to be, in his ceiling games, it's going to chuck some threes.
He can get 40. I think he has a 40-point ceiling.
Get some steals, right? Steals and threes.
Yeah.
This is a matchup for threes. They don't.
He has the occasional double with assists.
Yeah. 5K. I don't.
He's viable. Like in a
it is viable. No, it's very viable.
Less, like,
it's weird. Like some of these calls from you and from chat, like they're not my knee jerk reaction, but like I don't logistically disagree. I will say, if you like Marcus Smart on FanDuel comes at the expense of DeRozan, of SGA, of Anthony Edwards, of potentially Colin Sexton with or without Garland. So it's hard to land. Dante DiVincenzo, same.
Devontae Graham.
Yeah, there's a lot of beef and oomph.
Like you take away that Milwaukee game, you take away the Charlotte game, Marcus Smart might be chalk today.
Yeah, maybe Smart. Chalk Marcus is not smart. Okay. Anyway, move on to the next game.
We got a lot of those past years chalk.
Next game, Utah Jazz at the Chicago Bulls. Project starting 5 for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert taking on Tomas Satoransky, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Larry Markkinen, and Thad Young. We got 228 total, 8.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Utah Jazz. Chicago Bulls, defensively, still a team you want to pick on. Neutral pace here now, right? They're not trending as one of the fastest teams in the league. They, I guess new management and players get a little bit healthy. They've kind of gone backwards a little bit. There was a point where they were top 3 on the season. Now they're hanging on to the top 10. Utah's a little bit more league average. So should be an average possession projection game. With all of the people we've just talked about, like Jaylen Browns and the Middletons, yada, 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 Utah Jazz might carry no ownership against a solid matchup. So I'm curious about that. Rudy Gobert does have a Q tag on him, but I think he's been playing through the injury. I'm going to pull up that Utah injury report for Gobert. It looks like he's good to go. He's been dealing with a left hip, but he finished with 15 and 16 against the Raptors. So I think he's good to go. The Chicago Bulls, they rebound less efficiently than most teams. That they have shaken things up lately with Sato and Thad Young in the starting lineup, but slept like the center position being as shallow as it is. At least I don't want to say shallow, but not as ceiling heavy as it normally. Right? There are no Jokic's, Embiid's, Vooch, stuff like that. Is there a Gobert 50 bomb in the making here?
That would be a tournament play.
So
Gobert.
Oh, man, the Bulls give up. Let's see, points in the paint allowed.
It's the Bulls.
Yeah, it is the Bulls. There's plenty of rebounds allowed. The Bulls give up a top 10 amount of points in the paint. Gobert's going to get a lot of his points via dunks. He's got his boy Conley in there to feed him a little bit. Could you get a 2020? Like that's obviously ceiling.
Like a spot, yeah. I want to say hit a 50 spot from Gobert. There's not out of the question. I mean, one of the best matchups in the league, top 5 matchup in the league. 2020, definitely not. He's 8-4 on DK. Don't hate the price. And I think he gives you a floor of like 40 in this matchup, so I don't think he kills you in any way. I think him versus Christian Wood is interesting 1v1 at the same price, essentially. Yeah, I mean, is Rudy Gobert even safer? I think there's no way he gets less than like 14 rebounds. Like, what's his rebounding prop? I might hit the over. This just seems like a great spot for him to just have that game he had against Golden State where he breaks a slate for 74 DK. Like 20 points, 22 rebounds, 24 points, and like 5 blocks. Very real.
You see his free throw attempts lately? They've been hack-a-shacking him. Gobert has a 13.5 rebound prop on PrizePicks.
Over on that. Yeah.
I mean, that's a little expensive.
Hit the over on that.
That's a season average, though. So if you think he can perform over his average because of the matchup, yeah.
I'm with it.
I'm with that. Chad, if you like that bet via the PrizePicks prop and you want to bet it, you can go to PrizePicks.com right now, sign up using code GUNDACKER, and they will actually match your initial deposit up to $100. $10, $20, $20, $40. An instant match, no slow drip, none of that nonsense that you see elsewhere. They have an amazing app, very smooth. I have it on my iPhone, and it's a great deal. So if you want to spread out your daily DFS spend, diversify your action, and bet on stuff you like, because like if we like Rudy Gobert right now, Raj, 20 lineups, we probably can't afford a giant stand on him at AK because there's so much.
No, I think.
But if I want to bet on the action on Rudy Gobert's matchup, I can go to PrizePicks.com and use code GUNDACKER.
Hit that. I think to get to Rudy Gobert today, you probably need 50. Great play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, 50 all day. AK and above to win a tournament, no matter what position, 50 is probably there. But Chad, anyone who this month signs up for PrizePicks using code GUNDACKER, deposits, plays, will be entered into a monthly drawing to win a month pass at RunDFS.com. Part of the Russell Miller 10 sponsored month passes. There's that. Also, anyone who gets a VIP pass, any level, week pass, anything, this month will be entered into a drawing to get extended on their current subscription or be awarded another month pass, even if your subscription expires. As long as you had an active sub in the month of March, you'll be entered into the drawing. So go check all that out. PrizePicks, really, really probably one of the best sponsors that I have. I got a couple of sponsors over the years. They're really generous. Every time you guys sign up, they're really generous. So check them out. Really, really, really good site. Any Bulls?
Man, I mean, if you really want to get cute, it's like Zach LaVine could be a 50, 60 bomb, get you 40 real-life points if he has one of those games. But I'm probably just fading the Bulls. Like Zach LaVine, I think might be like 100 lineup type of deal.
Donovan Mitchell?
Not today, no. There's too many guys at that price. We already talked about all the Anthony Edwards, the SGAs, the Jaylen Browns. I'm just not getting to any Mitchell. Like, does he really outscore all those guys we have in the pool ever?
Who, Donovan Mitchell? He might outscore him, but at this price he needs. So like if you're comparing it to the Drew Holiday, Jaylen Browns, Chris Middleton, those type of players. Yeah. By the way, last 4 centers against Chicago Bulls. You ready for this, Raj?
Yep.
Mason Plumlee, 29 minutes, 42 DraftKings points.
Okay.
Jokic never counts. It's Jokic. And I think that game went to overtime. He dropped 74 and 43. Whatever. Jakob Poeltl, 34 minutes, 42 fantasy points, 16 rebounds for him. Moses Brown was put on the map. 30 minutes in this matchup, 16 rebounds. We take out Jokic. I think we all agree. Just don't Jokic. We can't compare nobody to Jokic. He literally is the favorite to win MVP right now. But Moses Brown, 16 rebounds, 30 minutes. Jakob Poeltl, 16 rebounds, 34 minutes. And Mason Plumlee, 10 rebounds, 29 minutes. All of them scoring over 40 fantasy points. It really is a spot for Gobert. And that 5th game, Aaron Baines played just 18 minutes. He scored 18 DraftKings points. 5 rebounds. So, he's on pace himself. So I actually do kind of like the Gobert call.
Yeah.
Might be a 20 rebound game. It might be.
I mean, he could have that Golden State game where he dropped 74 DK.
Yeah, also, blocks is a thing. So, like, on the season, Chicago Bulls aren't, like, crazy in terms of blocks per game allowed. But if you look at the last 5, Plumlee had 2 blocks in those 29 minutes. Jokic had 1 block. Moses Brown had 5 blocks in those 30 minutes. And Aaron Baines in that 18 minutes had 2 blocks. Rudy Gobert is kind of just kind of his thing. So he might have a 5-block, 20 rebound, 15-point game.
Now, I mean, if you want to get if you put Rudy Gobert in a single entry, it takes tons of stones. But that's the type of play that can win it for you.
Oh yeah, especially on FanDuel because Moses Brown probably eats 40% ownership maybe on FanDuel. I'm with it though.
Rudy Gobert might be the run DFS sneaky play of the day to win you a tournament. Because I don't think he comes in over 10%, if that.
Maybe. Mark K says, I'm the new owner of a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. DFS will change your life. Congratulations, Mark. Mark, I believe one of the many people in our community lately in chat that have just been crushing it. Mark, didn't you hit 100K in the last couple weeks? So that's the dream. Turn a night of this, right? Doing some study at 2 p.m. and then you win 100K. Next week, your family's laid up in a all bills paid house. Right. Like, that's what you want. Missed it. Was Moses Brown a tier 1? Moses Brown for me is a core value on FanDuel. So those of you guys that are kind of wondering what that means, it's basically a tier 1. But the way I set my pool is I have 3 tiers based on my personal exposures to a player. And then anyone under 5K, because I do think when it comes to value plays, it can't be like it's not equal. So anybody under 5K, I have to put as a core value or a risky value. Risky value would be guys that I like cap at 10-15% in my opto just to help out where they can fit. And then core value would be like the guys I think are amazing values, can't miss. So early on, I got my eyes on FanDuel, maybe a TJ McConnell, a Bobby Portis, and definitely a Moses Brown. So for sure. 175K 13 days ago. 2 weeks later, bro. Mark, I'm so happy. That's so amazing. Congrats to you. And then Russ, I definitely ain't putting Russ's stuff out there, but like Russ, like money came at a great time. And Raj, Russ won that 140K that one night. Every day in the Discord, like it's more screenshots. This guy has a horseshoe lodged up his. Yeah. It's crazy what he's doing right now, and I love Russ because he even posted. If you saw on the props channel today, like he posted one of the parlays he's running. It's so pretty. It's so aesthetically pleasing. And he usually will write you justifications and stuff. Like it's beautiful. I love this community. I do. Like it's just so non-toxic. There's so many gambling communities out there that just be toxic or be on Twitter. We win more than you do. You guys are idiots for thinking it. No, not me. I'm happy. You guys win. I'm happy. Those guys win. I'm happy. Like it's all good. It's literally all good. We got one game left on the docket. After the party, it's the after party, and after the party, it's the Discord lobby. I will be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord up until lock. If you guys want to hang out with me, grab a mic, shoot the breeze, make some lineups, speculate some top shot, make our player pools, and kind of digest, react to news, I'll be in the Discord chat. If you guys want to join in on that, go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account, get signed up. There's an onboarding thread that'll give you a link to the spreadsheet and the VIP Discord. Click on both. If you don't have Discord, it's an app you could download on your desktop and your mobile device. Keep you in the loop, connected, on the go. And, I mean, there's cats that, might be running ride shares or Uber Eats. People out there hustling, just listening in on the voice chat, in the back of a restaurant, just listening in or just talking, shooting the breeze. Like literally it's a brotherhood. So you guys come join the community. Go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account, get signed up. Like I said, we also accept TopShot, stuff like that if you want. Or if you have questions like that, Twitter.com/Gundacker. I'll get you in the loop. We have the bot Dacker getting you up to the minute tweets from trusted accounts. So we know we got some Nuggets news for Tuesday already. And then, of course, we just having some fun. So come be part of everything. We'd love to have you. Like I said, anybody who signs up this month will be eligible to win one of those sponsored month passes that Russ did. Gun, where do you find your tier picks? What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Like if you sign up at RunDFS, where do you find it's in the spreadsheet? Self Gun, who do you liking? Reggie Jackson or Pat Connaughton on FanDuel? How did you get there? Unless Kawhi or George, something secret squirrel happens with them, I don't think Reggie's gonna make the cut here for me. I don't hate the thought of Pat Connaughton just based on the DJ Augustine trade, and they're gonna be down a facilitator. But at 4-2 for Reggie, dude, like I like if you can stretch it. I like McConnell a little bit. At 46, I do think he's a point per minute. I don't hate the thought of Theo Maledon just for minutes against a soft matchup T-Wolves, but I'm guessing that you're strapped and you need that 42 or less. So it's Connaughton or Reggie. Probably Connaughton for minutes. I think without DJ Augustine, Connaughton's going to get close to 30 minutes. So I probably just bet on the minutes. Could you imagine, Raj, if I told you Pat Connaughton was getting 29 minutes against the Washington Wizards and he was like under 4K? Would you have lock button that? he got two fantasy points. That is so that's down bad. That's down. Wasn't Pat Connaughton? Didn't he have like a baseball offer as well? I feel like he did. I feel like he's one of those.
One of multi-sport studs.
Just see what else we got here. Lots of love in the chat. I love it. Pat is out. Giannis is out. Oh, Pat's out too? Oh, then definitely don't play Pat. I'm a bot. Is he out? I didn't even have that. Did I have that in my notes earlier? I just didn't have thoughts on Pat Connaughton. Maybe that's why Dante DiVincenzo is going to be the lock play. I don't have Pat out. Maybe I missed that.
No.
Is he out? Pat Connaughton.
Pat's out?
I didn't have that this morning.
No, I don't see any quick.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Tag on
so.
anything. He's a viable kind of value guy. 4,200 is kind of same price as Devontae Graham. Yeah, I kind of go
all right, main event tonight.
I like 4-man stack that.
Yeah, you could. Atlanta Hawks, Clippers, main event tonight, 10 p.m. Project starting five for the Hawks: Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Tony Snell, John Collins, Clint Capella taking on Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Ivica Zubac. We got a 225.5 total, 6.5 point spread in favor of the home team Clippers. Trae Young's on the south side of 9K. He does have 50-plus fantasy point potential, and we've already seen some buzz on Collins and Capella. I think I might have little to none of the Hawks. I do think the south side of 9K here for Trae Young is very intriguing to me. On the Clippers side, if we're just looking for a late-night hammer, I think there's some cost efficiency on Paul George. Kawhi Leonard's fine for a shot at 50. The Clippers are getting a home court bottom 5 defense in the Hawks, and Paul George at 8,200, definitely at that pivot price area where there's so much beef at 7 to 8K. Does Paul George have a shot at 45, 50-plus fantasy points to satisfy this price point? And is there room for even more? Last couple games, 45, 48. Charlotte and Dallas. I definitely think, the volume would be there, the propensity to deliver would be there, and some more facilitation responsibility without, Beverly being down a point guard's there. And then maybe even some peripherals are there if Serge Ibaka, he's still out. So I think Paul George at 8,200 probably going to be my favorite candidate to be a late-night hammer. I got him projected for the most minutes in this game. And then, so that's a 10 p.m. game. The game prior is 9 p.m., so this is the OT late hammer. I think it's Paul George for me. I may not have anyone else here. I think Zubac is at least curious. I got him at 29 minutes. That's 28 fantasy points. I feel like I should be a little bit responsible and not go all in on Moses Brown. Nice little pivot price point for Zubac. Moses is 4,300. Zubac being 4,500. So $200 little difference here. 30-plus fantasy points is the range of outcome here. Is Zubac and Moses Brown are almost the same discussion, right? They're both 45 to 5K on FanDuel and DraftKings respectively, and they're both benefiting, as a next man up spot in a Super Plus matchup. Where do you lie in that 1v1, Zubac versus Moses Brown? And then what are you doing with this game?
I mean, I'd clearly like Moses Brown over Zubac. But, with no Serge Ibaka, same price, 5,100. Man, Zubac could outscore Moses Brown. That could be the tournament pivot. But I think Moses Brown's minutes are a little safer even with Serge Ibaka out. So give me Brown. I'd be okay fading this game, on Atlanta. Hunter's back. So I think that's a downgrade to everyone, even if he's on the minutes limit.
Is he back or question? I feel like he said he was a game time. Like he said that.
Will be a game. All right, he'll be a game time call. Okay, it's game time call. I guess Capella is an interesting center too. It's a spot he can drop a 50 piece for sure. Mm-hmm. But again, the minutes 28, 27, 26, 23 past 4 games. I think I might just fade this game. It's 8-game slate, tons of studs.
I won't fade the game because I'm going to have Paul George and Ivica Zubac, some late-night hammer stuff. I think I could land without Trae Young here. 6.5 point spread. I think that's it for me. Paul George, Zubac, and maybe on FanDuel, Marcus Morris at 3,700. $200 above min price. I can get behind that. But I could see myself not being at any of these Hawks. Yeah, I could see that. Tall says Portis ownership through the roof. Yikes. Anyway, chat. Obviously, there's other people on the airwaves, and I have an obligation to get in that RunDFS.com voice chat. So that's it. Rod's hot take to close it out.
Hot take to close it out. Do I have a hot take? We'll go with For a hot John Wall outscores Chris Middleton.
Ooh, that is pretty hot. All right, well, I guess I'll be in the voice chat in a second, Raj. Chat, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as always, making part of my day, be part of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow. If you guys had anything else for me, twitter.com/gundagger. And otherwise, I will be in the rundfs.com VIP voice chat, NBA voice chat, up until lock, leaving a little after lock, talking plays, making my player pool. You guys are free to compare mine to yours. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless, and go win some money.